Hello, everyone. My name is Sam DeZerga, and I am the Academic Success Coach for the Learning Commons at Tallahassee Community College. I want to welcome you today to this very short presentation about time management for online classes. I'm currently presenting from the great outdoors. I know you cannot see it behind me because of the Zoom background, but I do want to apologize if there are any, environmental sounds outside, dogs barking or birds chirping. But with all that being said, let's go ahead and roll right into today's workshop presentation, which is time management for online classes. So today we're going to be covering two distinct topics about time management. One is going to be time management tools. So these are both old and new to help support you in this time of virtual or online learning. The second is going to be about overcoming procrastination. What are the strategies that you should use in order to overcome procrastination? Everyone procrastinates, but we want to make sure that it doesn't get in the way of your success here at Tallahassee Community College. And this summer, we want you to succeed. So we'll talk about 4 different ways for you to overcome procrastination. Let's go ahead and jump into time management tools. And these are going to be tools for managing your time this summer, although they are definitely available for you to use after this summer as well. The first is going to be a time tracker. And I have this on the Learning Commons Online time management tab. You will be able to find this and download it yourself. It is an Excel spreadsheet. And pretty much it determines how much time you have to dedicate towards your schoolwork. It's very common for students and for everyone really to feel like there's not enough time in the day. There's just not enough hours. This is personal and customizable to how much time you're dedicating towards other tasks in your day. It adds it all up and then it gives you, during the week, you actually have 6 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours that are free that you can dedicate towards schoolwork. And I have a video here just to give you an example of how the time tracker works. As you can see, it is an Excel spreadsheet. It will ask you about your current weekday time obligations. Some are in hours, some are in how many hours per day, hours per week. And pretty much you fill it in with however you dedicate your time during the week. And then after all that is said and done, that will give you your weekday total. But then how many hours can you commit on the weekend to your schoolwork? That's going to give you a total. And as you can see here, based off of my weekday time obligations and how much time I can commit towards studying on the weekends, I have about 23 hours that I can then dedicate towards classwork. And that's with working 40 hours a week, with sleeping 8 hours a night. Right now, I don't have the travel to and from school because we are all sort of at home right now. So as you can see, it gives you the total number of hours, but then also creates this, this chart over on the side where it shows you that you have about 18% of your time that you can then dedicate towards classwork. The second time management tool is an online learning plan. And I talked about the online learning plan in my workshop earlier this week, and I think this is a great tool for organizing your class schedule. It's great for having everything all in one place. And it's a place where you can set a goal for yourself. What grade do you want in this class? And then it sort of outlines how you're going to get there. One of the questions on the online learning plan is how far in advance do you plan to start your paper for this class or study for a test, start a project, any big assignment that you have? And so this is going to really set expectations for you based on your goal for the class, on how far in advance, how you need to manage your time. And having a constant reminder of your goals can also motivate you to do the work. Let's go ahead and take a look at the online learning plan right now. If you would like a copy of this, this is also available on the Learning Commons Online. And like I said, I've got a great 15-minute workshop on the online learning plan as well, how you can fill it out, and I can make that available in the description below. So as you can see, the online learning plan is something that you fill out for each class. You fill in the course, you can just tap to enter text. You can select the checkboxes. So this is going to be a summer live class with PowerPoints and a video lecture. You can talk about how you plan to take notes, what are your reading assignments and other daily assignments. As you can see, this really outlines everything that you need to know about the class. It keeps it all in one spot, and it constantly reminds you of, oh, I've got a deadline coming up. Oh, my test is in 2 weeks, and I said I was going to start studying a week in advance. Maybe I need to start preparing. One time tip that I have for you is to think about your weekly schedule instead of your daily to-do list. It is very easy to get overwhelmed when you think, I have so much to do today. Think about it in a weekly schedule. What do you have to do this week? And a way that you can do that is by using something called an urgent important matrix. And this is something that I've sort of revamped. Some of you may have attended a time management workshop with me last semester, and I distributed an urgent important matrix at that time. I've revamped it so that it is now a weekly urgent important matrix where you simply put in the week of school you're in, and you can list out all of the tasks that you have for that week, list out your priorities for that week, everything you need to do, have to do, would like to do, and then check off those tasks as you complete them. I also want to talk about a really great online time management tool called Evernote. You can sign up for a free account online, and there are so many different time management tools available through here that you might not be aware of. You can create to-do lists, you could create a weekly schedule, or you can even take it a step further. If you have a project or a paper coming up, you can create your own project plan. Let's go ahead and start this video here. It'll show you all of those different time management tools. You can see the to-do list here where you can enter in what you have to do and check them off as you go. The weekly planner, so something very similar. It breaks it out into the weeks and you can check off as you go. And then I thought this was neat, the project plan. So really planning out what you're going to do at each step, each week of the semester. Now let's go ahead, now that we've talked about tools for time management, all of the strategies for overcoming procrastination, so how to break that habit. My first recommendation to all students who are facing procrastination is to chop it up. This means that you don't want to look at projects as just the whole. You want to chop them up into smaller tasks and smaller chunks. You want to then focus on one single task at a time, write it down, and then every time you finish a task, go ahead and cross it off. This is going to help you feel a sense of accomplishment, and it's going to help you feel motivated and like you've actually done something. It's really difficult to see a huge paper, a research paper, or a project, or studying for a test as an insurmountable task. But really, if you could get little bits of that task done at a time, it's really going to help you feel like you can keep going. So instead of saying, I'm 10% done with the project, you can say, I'm done with 3 out of, how many tasks there are. You could feel like you've actually accomplished something. The second tip for overcoming procrastination is called the 15-minute rule, and this is the second most common tip that I give to students. It can be hard to dedicate a large amount of time to things like studying or schoolwork, especially as we are in our homes right now. We have a lot of different priorities in our lives. And so I always tell students to go ahead and set a timer for 15 minutes. Almost all of us have 15 minutes that we can spare. Go ahead and set that timer and then work on one task without any distractions, just dedicated to that task for 15 minutes until your alarm goes off, you'll be better at estimating how much time tasks take, because I'm sure you'll be shocked at how much you can actually accomplish when you spend 15 dedicated minutes towards something. And you really feel like in that 15 minutes you were able to put them to good use. Set yourself a 15-minute timer twice a day. If you could do once a day, that's better than nothing. Twice a day, even better. Now you've got 30 minutes of uninterrupted time where you're able to work on your classwork. Avoiding distractions is going to be a big one. You know, I understand how difficult it is right now while we're all social distancing, while we're all in our homes. Everyone's in our home right now. And so this might be difficult, but it's also pretty important towards overcoming procrastination. And so I did feel the need to include it in the presentation today. But avoiding distractions, that could be electronics. So turning your phone on silent, not answering text messages or phone calls during that time. And also turning off the TV, turning off the radio, turning off the music. These things can distract us, even if we don't believe that they are. Multitasking actually limits our productivity, so limits how much that we can accomplish. Even if we feel like we're doing really well by multitasking, it's actually limiting our success there. Another form of distraction is the distraction of others, so other people. So try to find an area, whether that's in your home or an apartment, where you're not going to be distracted by others. But of course, as I mentioned, that is going to be difficult for a lot of students right now as we're social distancing. So make sure that it's a quiet place where if there are others around you, that they're not distracting you. Visual clutter is another big one. So sometimes the clutter and mess around us can cause a distraction. I know personally that I have a really hard time completing tasks for work and school if I feel like my kitchen is a mess, if there are dishes in the sink. And so you want to find a tidy, neat space to do your work so that you're not looking at the clutter around you and being distracted by it. Another strategy for overcoming procrastination, and this is going to be the last one that I present today, is to make it a game and then reward yourself. So what you do here, it's a combination of many of these strategies. Chop up your projects or papers or study time and identify those smaller tasks. Then you want to write those down and you want to assign a point value to each of those tasks. You want to assign a higher point value to all of those tasks that you know that you're more likely to put off and procrastinate. So say that, reading a textbook is something that you will put off until the last minute. Well, perhaps you want to give that a higher point value than reviewing a handout, which might be easier for you to do. Then you want to identify appropriate rewards. So when I reach 25 points, when I've completed so many tasks to where I now have 25 points, this is the reward that I want to give myself. Now I say appropriate awards because you don't want to reward yourself with something really big when you've only done something very small. So it really needs to be appropriate. And then you want to keep score and reward yourself when necessary. So that's another tip for overcoming procrastination. I want to thank you for watching this short workshop today. If you do have any questions about the workshop, the slides that were presented today, but the Learning Commons or Academic Success Coaching, please feel free to reach out to me by email. You can email me at the email address on the slide here. And thank you again for watching.